Good morning. This is your message for today, today being July 16th, 2013. And your reading for today comes from Exodus chapter 2, starting with verse 1, and it begins. A certain man of the house of Levi married a Levite woman, who conceived and bore a son. Seeing that he was a goodly son, she hid him for 3 months. When she could hide him no longer, she took a papyrus basket, daubed it with bitumen and pitch, putting the child in it, placed it among the reeds on the river bank. His sister stationed herself at a distance to find out what would happen to him. Pharaoh's daughter came down to the river to bathe, while her maids walked along the river bank. Noticing the basket among the reeds, she sent her handmaid to fetch it. On opening it, she was a baby boy crying. She filled with pity for him and said, "It is one of the Hebrew children." Then his sister asked Pharaoh's daughter, "Shall I go and call one of the Hebrew women to nurse the child for you?" "Yes, do so," she answered. So the maiden went and called the child's own mother. Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Take this child and nurse him for me, and I will repay you." The woman therefore took the child and nursed it. And when the child grew, she brought him to Pharaoh's daughter, who adopted him as her own son and called him Moses, for she said, "I drew him out of the water." On one occasion, after Moses had grown up, when he visited his kinsmen and witnessed their forced labor, he saw an Egyptian striking a Hebrew, one of his own kinsmen. Looking about and seeing no one, he slew the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. The next day he went out again, and now 2 Hebrews were fighting. So he asked the culprit, "Why are you striking your fellow Hebrew?" But the culprit replied, "Who has appointed you ruler over us? Are you thinking of killing me as you killed the Egyptian?" Then Moses became afraid and thought, "The affair must certainly be known." Pharaoh too heard of the affair and sought to put Moses to death, but Moses fled from him and stayed in the land of Midian. All right, there's a couple of things we got here. We've got God blessing the child. Moses being put into the river, could have been eaten by crocodiles, could have been ignored by the Pharaoh's daughter, could have been anyone else could have picked up the child. There's a lot of things going on, but God's had a plan long before Moses was born. And so Moses ends up in the Pharaoh's home. After growing up, though, Moses actually kills an Egyptian. Now, that reminds me, what are the 10 Commandments? Oh, they're here written on the wall. And that would be commandment number 6, thou shalt not kill. But Moses himself kills an Egyptian. So, how is it that God, in his infinite wisdom, used a murderer to send a message to us that we should not murder? Isn't that interesting? So evidently, God can use unlikely people. God can use just about anybody he wants, but in this particular case, God used a flawed man, a murderer, to lead the children of Israel out of Egypt. All right. When Moses buried the Egyptian, nothing is unknown. Nothing happens under the sun that will not be known by God. Nothing happens that's hidden that will not one day be brought to light. No matter where you run, no matter where you go, it's always going to come up. It's always going to catch up with you. But God's going to help you. God's going to use you anyway. God in his infinite wisdom forgives. We just have to ask. This has been your daily message for today. Today being July 16, 2013. My name is Chip Taylor. Come back and see me tomorrow and have a blessed day.